Welcome back, guys. This is the first English Brood War cast from a studio in how
many years.
6 years.
It's been a while. Well, you know, for Brood War cast from studios, you and I were the only professional English casters for Brood War ever.
By the way, if you guys are not familiar with our background in Brood War, we were both Brood War pro gamers. We both actually managed teams that won international events.
Yeah.
I was in RS Gaming, and then eventually that team disbanded. I joined Media,
the greatest
led by the
team
great
of all time.
Tosis, that's right.
With names such as Hydra, Tasteless, Noni.
That's right.
Rhett. I mean, sick nerd
Who else
ballers.
was on there?
G5.
G5 was on there. I'm trying to think.
In Control.
In Control was on Media.
Yeah.
Who else?
It's quite a
Did we have other
strong
people?
lineup.
Who else?
Yeah, no, there was some others, but I mean that was the core. Yeah,
yep.
Assem was. But yeah, it was the greatest foreigner team of all time.
Ever.
Dirt taught. We were
Take that, PG.
way better.
You guys are trashed.
Oh well, PG was. That's like dinosaur times.
No, but in all seriousness, it's really great to be down here. We hope we can entertain, but even more so inform you guys about how this game works. I know we have a lot of younger people that are watching that this game just wasn't, part of your time. It's still active. People are still playing it. There's still new players coming up.
Yeah, it is true. And you know what, guys? It is just, there's enough room in your heart to love this game as well.
Love both games. Both the StarCrafts are great games. Anyways, we're going on into game number 3. And right now it's tied up 1-1 in this best of 5. I figure we give a moment of silence there,
All right.
All right, let's find out who's in the upper left.
I think that's probably Zero.
That's
again.
Zero? Okay.
I think they're just doing him first every time because Z is comes before E in the alphabet.
And in the bottom left, we have Effort.
Okay, now Zero is actually scouting in the wrong direction
again.
for the second time in a row. So that's a little bit rough. It's a little bit frustrating.
Not his fault, by the way. 4 spawns on this map, so you have to make a choice.
It's a little bit similar to 4-player spawns on, like, for instance, I'm known to complain quite a bit about PvP 4-player spawns and how that can really affect who wins the game if you scout in the wrong direction in StarCraft.
That
2.
might affect,
definitely,
yeah.
It affects a lot here as well.
Yeah, it's pretty tricky. Effort headed northbound with his Overlord. He is going to spot his opponent. There is a bit of a distance here from your main and your natural. Also note, I'm just trying to make sure for people that have only played StarCraft 2, this is explained pretty well. There's not a lot of opportunities to expand creep, and creep doesn't play as much of an important role in StarCraft 1.
You have to build stuff on creep, and that's it.
I think this is one of the major improvements Blizzard made in StarCraft 2.
Absolutely
was to have
agree.
the creep expand. I mean, even on just a visual level, it looks great.
Yeah,
but as far as an RTS goes, it's really good as well. But creep, not as much of a factor. In StarCraft 1, you obviously can only build on creep, and the only thing that expands creep is creep colonies, which can turn into either sunken colonies, a.k.a. a spine crawler, or a spore colony, a.k.a. a spore crawler.
Yes, very well said. And I want to really echo what you said there. I think that Zerg was greatly improved in StarCraft 2. It's much more Zerg in StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
It has a much better feel. I think it looks a lot better.
Hold up. Did you see that?
Saw it.
He turned. He turned immediately. He spotted the hatch.
Yeah, he doesn't want to let him know where he is.
And he's moving around now because the vision distance of an Overlord is quite great compared to the vision distance of a constructing building. So he sees that and he immediately backs up. And this is actually a pretty sick find here by it's Effort in blue, right? Yeah, it's a pretty sick find here by Effort. Sorry, I'm not used to this overlay yet. For him to spot that. Now, the Overlords are going to see each other here. But that's going to be a pretty painful moment here.
Yeah, and Zero Down does know that Effort is in the bottom left. You know the scout time of Overlords always in StarCraft 1.
That's right.
That's something that the game has been out long enough. You always, as soon as you see any scout, you know where it came from.
Yep.
But, all right, we'll have to see where they're going for right now.
It does appear that this game could be quite similar to our previous game. It is once again Oh, no, this is actually a variation. It's not one hatch.
He's going that second hatch quite
he's
quickly
speed layer teching, but he's not making lings this time around. That's the difference. He's only got those those two that are out. And he's gearing up to go intense into mutas.
Yeah,
now,
and he'll have more larvae this time, which means that he can produce a lot more lings. You saw last time he had to micro those 3 lings to buy some time. This time it's, he's able to actually macro a little bit more with them.
And there are some problems for a 1-base Zerg player against 2-base Zerg player when they're both teching for mutas, which we're going to see right now. And one of the big factors here is that you won't have a second gas, which means less mutalisks, although it is less of an area to defend as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, by the way, guys, something to mention, like a lot of the costs are exactly the same in this game as in StarCraft 2, but the drones are returning 8 per trip, not 5. Just a little something to throw out there.
Good call. So the Spire is about halfway done. His effort is racing towards that Mutalisk tech. Note that Zero does come down here to check for the expansion. He says, okay, it's a 1-base play. Didn't see any lings unless he's banking lings. Then he has to assume that this is a race towards the Mutalisk tech. Now, one of the reasons why Effort can do this is because of the concave he's made right here at this ramp. It's very difficult to break that.
The concave certainly beats the convex in this game as well.
As a wise caster once said. Now, look at this. He's sending lings out everywhere. He wants to check for any spotterlings. Sometimes you have one ling hiding on the map, and you will run that into the main when the action's starting. So he actually did a nice fanning out of lings there, knowing all the probable hiding locations.
Yeah, you wouldn't be further away than that with your Zerglings for sure.
That's right.
That's a really good way that he went about that. Now, we do have Mutalisks most likely in these eggs right now. And the Zerglings are coming right now, so Effort has to buy time at the top of this ramp where it's a much smaller area for him to actually engage. Oh, no, it's actually Zerglings.
Wow. Fakey, okay. Made mass lings. This is really interesting. He might have, okay, so I think what he's actually trying to do here was trying to get him to make...
Oh, 6 around right there.
Really nice.
A few extra link kills.
Another one. You can do that in Brood War. You can box him in like that. So this is really smart. Look at that. He actually did mind games even with us. Zero is so afraid of mutas because his mutatech's behind. He made a bunch of spore crawlers. When in fact, it's mass lings headed right towards his base.
That's a sick mind game right there. And this is a lot of lings coming in. Now, look at this. This is a very thin amount of area for these lings to actually get through. They're starting to get through a bit. The drone's actually messing up their AI quite a bit. These Zerglings being worth quite a bit here for Zero. But Effort has a lot of Zerglings.
I think Zero's control might just be good enough. So he abandons trying to break this location, instead going into the main right now. And that's a really technical play there. Obviously, we don't have like tabs that we can see in Brood War to know what exactly they're trying to do. But yeah, it looked like he was making 6 mutas. Then all these lings hatch out, and all of a sudden these useless spore crawlers are made. Really smart play here by Effort.
Yeah, and now we do have quite a few mutas popping up. But the thing is, Zero actually has 2 bases. So even if we have more mutas right now for Effort, with a second gas that can be added, Zero absolutely can catch up and perhaps pass the amount of mutas here. But that he's going to take some damage because right now map control, as far as flying units goes, for Effort, and those right there are Scourge.
They're Scourge. You got to be very careful.
2 of them kill a muta. One of them almost kills a muta.
Yes. So you got to be very careful. Now note he's trying to get up here into the main, and it looks like.
I love that. Like again, there's nothing that he has right now that actually hits air in his base, so just sends in those.
Oh my God, this is really ballsy. He banked up enough mutas. He might be able to break the spore crawler. The Scourge are coming up.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
He's gonna outmaneuver him.
And he actually gets hit a little bit there, but you know what? He has enough mutas right now. Some of them are very, very low on health.
Scourge does coming up again. Yep.
But look at that. That's quite a few drones going down. Quite a bit of lost
I
mining
believe
time.
There's some overlap on damage there. So a lot of these mutas have like 10 HP.
Yeah.
He might be able to stave him off for the time being, forcing the mutas to micro back and forth. Nice control. He's got 2 more Scourge here. Oh! Really good control there.
Miss micro here for Effort.
Yeah, I think he only has 2 mutas in that group now. And that's not going to be doing anything.
Yeah, he needs... That was actually quite painful. Look at this. He's actually attacking in now with his Zerglings. This is not really going to do anything against 2 spines.
Okay, so he has to back up now. And the mutas are going to regroup. And that's so cool. He sent 1 muta directly into the main to try to buy time. This has forced the Mutalisk from Effort to come back. And as you can see by the way they're moving around, you can actually throw somebody off course pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But that did force Effort to reset his harass. Now he's immediately darting back up there. Again, 2-base versus 1-base. You have to do a lot of damage to that 2-base player. And once again, his Scourge, he's directing these.
He's got to be careful at this.
Yeah, nice control there. Guns down that one Scourge.
And, you know, if you're completely on top of these, you can actually kill all these Scourge off without losing any mutas, but it's very
really
difficult.
hard
It's
to do.
super time consuming.
Yeah.
Sometimes you bring some of your own Scourge to suicide into their Scourge. Definitely something that we see.
And it seems like Zero's starting to prop himself up pretty well here. Now, because yeah, that's pretty brutal. Because he was low on income, Zero was, he relied on the Scourge instead of the mutas.
Yeah.
And that was, I mean, I gotta say, that's some of the best Scourge control I've seen, and I've casted a lot of Brood War, but he's doing a really good job.
Yeah, he's hit more mutas than he probably should have, and I think a lot of that also has to fall on Effort mismanaging his mutalisks here.
By the way, note the Overlords hidden in the upper right. He had to evacuate all these Overlords off the map so they couldn't get hunted down by the mutas.
Yeah, and truth be told, he doesn't have time to send his mutas looking for these. He has to keep these active. He has to be picking off Scourge, forcing Scourge, doing any damage he can possibly get here.
Now he's trying to chisel away at the Extractor. Nice control. Trying to get rid of this Extractor. The mutas, if you control them just right, they can fire and then pull away.
Yes.
So they're only hitting one spore, or one spore shot is connecting with them. Now getting this gas is the goal, because if he takes the gas out, it's one gas versus one gas, with one player already having a superior muta count.
Yes.
There it is, he goes and takes it out.
Listen, if enough Scourge hit, then that can turn everything around as well. And look at this, a lot of Glaives hit that, a lot of that bounce, so he actually gets to take it out here. Now, just to mention, the Scourge hatch 2 of them for 25 minerals and 75 gas. So if you can actually make them connect with mutas, they're super cost efficient. But the mutas can technically out micro the Scourge.
Starting to hit the hatchery here, making his base not usable. Really good control. He's just slowly forced his way in. Zero looking to possibly come in from behind here. He does zone him back. And he's got him all the way back in the main, so he sees a spore defense.
Picking off, look at that. Look at how brave. The bravery here is crazy.
Got to be careful, though. Zero is staying on top and trying to make spores back at home. Mutas regrouping. We don't know if there's upgrades coming here, but normally you get armor over muta attack. Hold up!
And notice right now we actually have mutas being swapped out for Effort. He has a few mutas on the periphery here where he knows Zero won't go right now. Zero has to stay near the hatchery, and this is to allow them to regenerate a little bit more. You got to make sure that you don't have like mutas that are super low health in there, because then Glaives are going to kill them.
That's right.
Or spore hits or whatever, you know.
Anything that's hitting them, it's going to become a problem. Remember, you can only have 12 units in a control group. They make the mutas bunch up like this by putting one Overlord on the opposite side of the map in that control group. So it's 11 harassing mutas, and then he has backup mutas to rotate in and out of that group to harass, because it's almost impossible to do this kind of micro with 2 control groups and mutas.
Yes.
You just have to see somebody do it physically.
The few times that Jadong did that on TV were amazing.
Yeah, that was crazy, yes. And so that's another kind of interesting cap that is organically occurred in the game, is that you can't end up with like 50 mutas just doing this harass. You can only have them for a bludgeoning attack. So he's been doing a good job harassing the edge of that base here. And a nice scout. Somehow a Ling actually got all the way across the map. He spotted that, in fact, Effort has not made a second base.
Yeah, that is actually a very important information. That tells him that if he can keep this alive right here, then he's still okay, because he does have that second base kind of.
Oh, this is ballsy. This is ballsy here.
Yeah, flying in right now. He's kind of in between spores and the mutas of his opponent. But right now we have the Lings coming in, and that's keeping the mutas stuck here for 0, which means right now Effort has time to get in here and kill some drones and get out.
That was a beautiful dive, using those Lings to keep the mutas back and defending at the main entrance, and then he actually just runs in. Really interesting play here. That's one of the more riskier things you can do in ZVZ. He dives in saying he can sack some mutas, because obviously ZVZ, lowest worker count of any RTS game. If he kills off even 4 workers, that's huge.
Yeah, that is a big deal, and to sacrifice some Lings there, I like the move, because all you need to do is hurt this economy a little bit more, keep that higher mutalist count, and there's not a lot you can do. Yes, spores are like okay against this, but spores are expensive for him to have to buy right now and put up down there, especially considering he's not even mining over there.
He is just now starting his expansion.
By the way, look at the mini-map here. He doesn't have creep, but he does have Lings and Overlords all over the map. Great vision right now for Effort. So if anything tries to sneak out, he can see it right away and react right away.
Whereas if you look at the vision on the map here for Zero, he's boxed in.
It's terrible.
He's completely on the defense here.
He's got a couple Overlords in the top right, and that's it. It looks like those two are the Overlords, by the way, that he's been using for his Mutalisk. He keeps clicking them back in and switching them out.
By the way, back at home here for Effort, he doesn't have any anti-air, I believe. We haven't gotten a shot at it.
I believe he does not.
And that's why Effort has to stay on the offense because, well, he's not doing it now, but he was. Because all it takes, if you're against a player like Effort right now, if you can sneak mutas into the main and just kill all the drones and run out,
yes,
which is totally a feasible thing.
It is.
The game becomes turned on its head.
Yeah, that can win you the game, a move like that. Absolutely,
yeah.
Because you're spending like every penny all the time in ZVZ, that sometimes if you just happen to kill all the drones, that's it. There's no more money.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh, I can't build any more drones. Sick. I have to kill you with what I have.
It's a very tight matchup, and it does seem like Zero's actually gearing up for an assault. Looks like he wants to zone the mutas away from this expansion. And maybe try to take out some workers there. Now note he's pulling the Overlords back. He says, "Okay, I don't feel as safe anymore."
Oh,
coming up here!
No, mutas actually coming as well. Way too many mutas right now here for Effort.
He did have some nice connections though with the Scourge. We were talking about like just a millimeter away from actually being hit as he pulled back out of there.
Yeah.
Okay, good play. He's going to try to start driving the Overlords back. Remember, it's a tight matchup. Oh, if you can,
there you go.
Good control. If you can actually get it. Oh, hold on. We're going to have a full-on engage, it looks like.
Oh, and look at that. The Scourge actually hitting into each other quite a bit. Great micro there by Zero, targeting out quite a few Scourge.
Definitely coming up on top there. Again, remember, you're limited on the number of units you can have in a control group, so the multitasking gets pretty intense on a micro front when you're moving around with all these different groups hotkeyed together. Now, Zero has effectively bullied Intel that Effort could gain off the map, and now he looks like he wants to push in here. Remember, no air defense here besides other mutas here for Effort, so he might be able to even fake him out and dive into the main.
And let's see here, we have a lot of Scourge coming over right now. Effort coming up with his as well. Going to send those Scourge on the mutas of Zero. Zero has his Scourge.
Great control,
Great
control, diving back. This is really hard to do it. He's doing it, and actually he might have to force him to turn around.
Oh, he does get some connections there. It's hard to tell exactly who has more mutas. It looks to me like it's actually Effort at the moment, but some more Scourge come up and connect, but it looks like Effort just has a couple more mutas right here.
Well, hold on. I think he's waiting for this Scourge to come in here and reinforce. We don't know what the HP is on here because this game's old and we can't just see like that. But we have to assume that they do know, and for some reason he decided to turn around. Zero right now in the Lion's Den. He's way overextended. Only 2 mutas remaining, and he can moving shot that if he micros it just right, and he's doing it. He's going to split the mutas. He's going to try to get him to chase this muta down here as Zero goes back to the lab and tries to engineer another attempt to win.
Yeah, but at this point, with Effort on a solid 2-base economy, he hasn't had to buy really any static D, and the fact that he has more mutas already, like this is starting to look very unwinnable for Zero.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, Zero's doing a great job, but it's pretty tough to recover here. Definitely a superior drone count, by the way, for Effort. And from here, it's not even going to be just the fact that he can make Mutalisks. It's going to be the combination of Mutalisks and Zerglings coming at him.
Yeah, don't forget, he actually is on 3 hatcheries. So that's actually a big deal here. You start out with the 2 hatcheries in his main base. That gives him a lot more larvae to work with. He can squeeze out more Zerglings. He can squeeze out more Scourge, more of these cheap units, which are going to have a lot of effect in the next battle.
And this is a problem right now for Zero. And actually, there's another base being taken down here at the bottom right. And he's, oh my God. Okay, all right, we're actually going to do this. I didn't think we were going to have a game like this today. He's taking the Queens. So let me talk about this for a second. All right. In Muta versus Muta, obviously, you can get to this point where it feels almost like you're in checkmate, where your opponent just has more mutas than you. In very rare instances do we see a tech. Now, there's a queen. It doesn't do larva injects or late creep tumors or anything like that. Totally different game. It's a flying unit that has an ability called Ensnare, assuming he does get the queen this game.
Yeah.
When you ensnare the mutas, they're all this green crap is on them, and they can't move fast or attack fast.
Yeah.
It also can mean he's going to tech to Hive and possibly get the Defiler. Now, if he gets a Defiler, it has an ability called Plague, which will drop every unit's HP to 1.
The Bane of Terrans.
Yes, the Bane of Terrans.
Is what we call that unit.
And
you see one Defiler come across the map, you turn around.
Even Zergs and Protoss hate that ability, man. It's just such a strong ability. If he gets one Defiler out, it all comes down to this one play where he might be able to nab all the mutas, drop them to 1 HP, and as you can imagine, mutas with glaives bouncing, can completely destroy.
If you hit one Plague, basically Plague does like 300 damage, but won't kill it. Won't kill anything. So it'll just bring them all down low, and then one volley with your mutas and you win. Another thing to mention is if he does go up to that hive, he can go ahead and grab Adrenal upgrade for Zerglings. And
that's true as well.
Cracklings, as we call them in StarCraft 1, are ridiculous. And you guys are starting to get a taste of what that feels like in StarCraft 2 with the new Adrenal. But again, these Zerglings are stronger than StarCraft 2 Zerglings. They are, you give these things that upgrade and they kill buildings in like 2 seconds. Those sunken colonies won't mean a thing.
It's it's very scary, but it's also a very tough position to play from. Zero obviously doesn't want to give this up and end up. Oh, and he is going to get the queens. Okay.
Yep.
So we got the queen here.
And look, with ensnare,
I mean, that's combo awesome. Ensnare, and then also getting plague with that if he does get that.
I want to bring up the fact that it also has something called Parasite. And Parasite can be very useful. You cannot cure Parasite as Zerg. Only Terran can cure Parasite with the medic, in fact.
That gives you, Parasite is an ability that lets you have vision of that unit.
Yes, if you Parasite one muta, you are going to see where his mutas are unless he sends that off. And if he sends it off, just go kill it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it's not being used, so it doesn't matter. You don't even necessarily have to kill it.
Okay, he's coming up now. Oh my God, he's going to go dive right onto the third. Here we go.
All right, let's see this.
Gotta be careful. Queen coming out now.
Two groups of mutas and a group of Scourge.
He might end up getting boxed in here. I think actually. Oh,
that's
he's got to be careful. Oh, wow, connecting on the Queen there.
Well, may as well. He's got Effort's going
to try to box him in. There's the ensnare.
And that really slows down those mutas, but you know, I guess that'll allow some of his mutas to get away. The thing is, he's grasping at straws right now. There's 3 bases for Effort. He has way more mutas. There's not really. That was like Zero's last-dish effort, really.
Yeah, as you can see, the ensnare quite strong on his mutas.
It's comical. But that's something that's very rare in StarCraft. You guys were in for a little treat today. Ensnare and Queens in general are not
I thought about bringing up the possibility of that, and then I thought, no, I don't want to get their hopes up for some strategy. It's not going to happen. And he's getting a greater Spire, by the way.
Yes. The original Broodlord, you know, it's called a Guardian in StarCraft 1. And then you also have the Devourer.
I was going to say, I think it might be for Devourers, which are great anti-air.
Devourers are pretty sick. They actually add acid spores, which slow your units down a little bit. And what it does is it gives you spore counts on your units.
He sees the cocoons, though.
Yeah. But the spores that they give them make them take more damage.
Yeah.
So that gets very scary. There's a few spores on your mutas, and then your opponent's mutas are going to crush them really quickly. So,
by the way, Zero running around here on the map, trying to send some lings down. He wants to try to beat up as much of that third base as possible. Good sense here by Effort. He's moving his mutas down here right now.
Yeah, that's Star Sense right there. He had a good idea of where Zero wanted to go.
This is smart. If he does manage to get the gas, that's pretty huge. Because really, getting the gas is almost more important than getting the hatchery in a lot of ways.
That's what matters in StarCraft 2 or StarCraft 1 for Zerg is the gas for sure. Yeah. So definitely very important.
And of course, you only get 1 gas per expansion in this this iteration of StarCraft. So if you do take out that, there's a lot more strategies in this that are centered around exploiting or taking out that gas geyser, or occasionally even building on top of it, so that they can't build on top of it to mine out of it.
Now, here we go. The Devourer's coming in right now. This could be big. He does actually get one of them right there. And looks like the muta's just going to fly, and he's going to engage anyways. There's just not many mutas right now for his opponent, so he should be able to just clean everything up nicely. And, yeah, sorry, Devourers. It was cool to see you and Queens in this game, but you are the loser because you went beyond mutas.
Yeah, there's just way too many mutas. There's really, like, nothing that I think he can do to recover from this. And also, if you notice the way Effort's microing, he's not going to let him get away. And that means that he's going to have to stand his ground and ultimately lose all of these mutas. Nice job with the backup mutas coming in once he tries to take a fight. GG. Effort wins. Game number 3, excuse me.
Yeah, well played there by Effort. Just really, really solid play. I like the fact that he added that second hatchery. It gave him a lot more flexibility with the amount of lings that he could end up making. And guys, I hope that you're enjoying this StarCraft 1 cast here at AfreecaTV.
Tell people to tune in. Everybody in Korea is telling us nobody wants to watch StarCraft 1. And Tastosi said, no! People
they want to watch, they just don't know it yet.
They just don't know it
yet. It's a beautiful game. It's so complex. It's so beautiful to see these guys do these little control maneuvers, and I hope that over the course of today and on Saturday for the finals, we can kind of show you guys what these moves mean and like how it's hard to explain to people that may not have played StarCraft 1 what it's like trying to micro-mutas against Scourge. It's insanely hard to kill them off. We saw Effort actually lose quite a few early on, but then we saw some good micro on both sides against the Scourge mutas as well.
I admire the tech there from Zero. Very technical, very difficult to pull that off. He was playing from a disadvantage there. Effort does seem to have a better grasp on early game. Hey, let's not forget the game that 0-1 was a funky sunken rush at the entrance.
He hit him right before the mutas were ready, basically.
Yeah, but as far as just a proper ZVZ, Effort does seem to have a better grasp than Zero, at least so far.
Well, back in StarCraft 1's prime, Effort for sure was quite a bit better than Zero, although Zero was definitely one of these rising Zergs, and you know, he's obviously one of the best Zergs in the world right now in StarCraft 1.
We are going to go to a short break. Tell your friends to tune in and join us here at AfreecaTV. If we get enough viewers, if we get enough interest. So, by the way, tweet at AfreecaTV. Thank them for doing this and tell them you want more if you do want to see more.
It's AfreecaTV_GL on Twitter.
That's right.
GL for Global.
We would love to be doing this alongside StarCraft 2. I want to see both these games celebrated. So put out the word, tell people to join us. And, yeah, thank AfreecaTV. We're going to go to a short break. When we come back, we'll be going on into game number 4 of the semifinals of the Advanced StarCraft League.
Cross with lies, please just let me go. You strung me on for far too long, so I gave up everything about myself, so I didn't feel alone. My magnetic heart still grasping on, afraid to let you go. Feelings based on your expressions, expressed in the way that it's sort of depressing. I was just my pain, I'm entertaining my oppressions. Some days I wonder what it'd be like if the light in your face never glowed. But I'd rather live in dark just to know I would rather rock than explode. These bombs are exploding inside my head, but I've never been more alive. These shadows of the dark just tried around with a little less pride. I've dampened the spirits and I've set them aside. Now I'm walking alone with no alibi. This life I live is all my own. Can't take that back if you try. If you love me so, please let me go. Can't take you back if I try. That are living inside my brain won't acknowledge the fact that I'm staying positive despite the impossible. With a common logic, it's something as simple that rhymes with orange. You're provoking the knowledge that comes from a Berkeley star dropout. How come I need acceptance? Do you feel the same, or am I alone? I'm always second guessing myself. Instead I pretend I don't feel any pain when it's not my body's aching, forsaking the decision to stand up again and pretend that my knees are shaking. I'm scared of my own voice and what it might tell me, so I just write it down in hopes I'm not the only one to see just how crazy I sound. Handwritten in truth is the ink that bleeds from my skin. Please bear with me and beg.
싸우네요.
때문입니다. 아쉽기 때문입니다.
직접 오신다 출신의 청각 끝에 샤시간에 이럴 수가 없습니다. 시작합니다.
We are back. It is 2-1 right now. Effort in the lead in the semifinals of the Advanced StarCraft League. We're learning Zerg vs. Zerg. Well, I guess teaching Zerg vs. Zerg for you guys here today in Brood War. Each of the matchups, whether it's StarCraft 2 or StarCraft 1, operate in a very different and unique fashion. We're already seeing it highlighted here now. The intense race to the Muta.
Yes.
The harass that comes from that Muta. Balancing the race to the Muta while still holding off masslings. It's really interesting. And I gotta say, right now, it seems like Effort overall has a better grasp of it than Zero.
Yeah, well, I mean, Effort really kind of was in Brood War's prime the second best Zerg in the world.
For sure,
At the highest skill point before the game fractured from players leaving to StarCraft 2. So, not surprised to see him leading here. But Zero has shown some little moments of brilliance, and he had some really clever ways to try to come back there. When you get behind in ZVZ, it's very unforgiving. As we were talking about before, probably the most unforgiving matchup between both StarCrafts. So for him to even try to come back in these ways is pretty cool to see, just not working out for him yet.
Don't forget, guys, on Saturday, Artosis and myself will be casting the Brood War Finals. One of these two players is going to move on and face off against Bisu, the man that invented the way that we're playing Protoss. Even in StarCraft 2, the way he played Protoss in StarCraft 1 had so much influence on the way we play Protoss in StarCraft 2.
If you guys are liking tonight, let me tell you that you will look back on tonight as if it's the worst thing you've ever been through after you watch us cast Bisu versus one of these guys. I'm like not even joking here. The difference is going to be insane. To be perfectly honest, look, I like CVZ. It's a good matchup in StarCraft 1, but it's the worst out of every matchup.
Yeah.
And PVZ is a fantastic matchup with the man himself who revolutionized the damn matchup and made it even so that Protosses could actually win. It's actually literally Bisu did that. So
that's right.
It is going to be legendary, and there is no end to the amount of stuff that we're going to say, the bombs of knowledge that we're going to impart upon you about that matchup. So we need you guys all week to help us spread the word for that. So yeah.
This might become a regular thing if we have enough support. So tell everybody to join us here. So at Africa, we have StarCraft 2 as well as StarCraft 1. Cross spawns.
This is a two-player map.
Is it? I'm not. This map is actually called Match Point, and I'm not familiar with it.
You will when you see it. This is a terrible map. Well, as a Terran player,
was this in tournaments when we were playing?
A little bit. We didn't play it a whole lot as foreigners, but you're going to recognize it.
Okay.
Yes. Anyways, here we are. It's Zero in the bottom left, Effort in the top right. This map is a little bit different, if I'm not completely incorrect on... Yeah, this is exactly the map I think it is. It doesn't have a ramp from the main to the natural. It just has an open area, so that's something that
wait,
can
if you're
change
purple,
things.
you got to go straight down, right? And then if you're yellow, you got to go straight...
Yes.
Oh, this map.
Yes.
Okay.
This map.
This map. Yeah.
One of the Terran's banes, this map.
Yeah,
hey, we are giving you a ramp. I'm like, oh, sick. Yeah, this is going to be fun.
I did not enjoy Protoss vs. Zerg on this map, actually.
I bet you like Protoss vs. Terran.
I did.
Yeah.
I was fine with it, actually, on this map.
Yeah, I
bet.
So,
we have Effort in the upper right and Zero in the bottom left.
Yeah, and it looks like we're having a fast spawning pool here from Effort.
That's right. By the way, guys, the maps at Brood War have been pretty crazy over the course of time because this game is about 18 years old. This game is old enough to die for its country, Artosis.
Indeed. Not to buy beer in America.
Not to buy beer in America, though. No,
Yeah.
you got to be 21, and you will need a little bit more time before you can rent a car. But have you heard that? You have to be 25 years old to rent a car?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
I
really?
looked into
That's-
it once before I was
Yeah.
25, and I was like, oh. I guess I just have to buy a very expensive taxi when I fly to this tournament.
So, so we have a lot of very strange maps. We're still, since we just finally got Africa to agree to put us on here for Brood War, we're going to be learning these maps a little bit better. But there have been some wild maps, and I think we could probably talk about that maybe in another series, since this one is ZVZ and it's going to pick up pretty quickly. But
yeah.
Diverging builds here. Effort, once again, sticking with that quick pull and quick gas. And Zero, he always wants to have that expansion hatchery. However, so far in any game that's gone on for too long, it doesn't work out too well against him.
Yeah,
or for him.
You know what? The fact that he's not going to have Zergling speed for quite some time, and the fact that we already have this many Zerglings out for effort, this is going to be pretty hard for Zero to actually hold on to his
Can I
natural.
point out something, guys? I'll do it if we get another shot of the main. You always want to have the drones mining from the mineral that's slightly closer, since you don't super saturate.
Absolutely.
See that? So like those two minerals in the back, you won't be mining from that until he absolutely has to. Masslings from Effort coming down here. The Overlord's going to spot it.
Well, he does have to
wow.
cancel that right away. Look at this. Going to throw
Insta-cancel.
up at least one sunken colony here. Has to make as many Zerglings as he can. This is a lot of Zerglings on the way, man.
Yeah, and actually the position of the sunken colony is good, but not great. It's a little bit exposed.
Yeah.
You always want, if you watch a Brood War, they always have the sunken colony and ZVZ right up between where the drones are mining gas. Workers are a lot stronger as far as micro goes. Now, as you can see here, the workers can kind of glide on top of the Zerglings. So the way that the AI works in Brood War, it prioritizes always, whether they're attacking or not, attack units over workers, which means if you want them to hit the workers, you have to manually tell them to do that, which means you can do a ton of crazy crap with worker control here to survive and win a fight that you would normally never win. That's one of the central points in Brood War, is that you can usually win fights if your workers are there that you wouldn't ever win if it was StarCraft 2, because they would just smart attack whatever's in front of them.
There's a tactic called the drill, which maybe we'll talk about more in the next broadcast, but definitely you're going to have to utilize some moves like that here. Trying to pop in from the side, does grab a drone there, so that's pretty nice. Already the Spire in the way. If he can just keep Zero busy here and actually get Mutas out, that would be a pretty big moment.
Looks like the Spire well placed there to wall off the sunken colony.
Yeah, that sunken already has taken a lot of damage there, but
Back
now
here,
it's
though,
really hard to
let's
actually
not forget, actually with the one hatch layer here for Effort, his Spire's going to come out a little bit quicker.
Yeah. But we do have that second hatchery coming up for Zero, so he's going to have the ability to produce a few more units here, maybe keep Effort busy with Zerglings coming up. Right now we do have some Zerglings actually pooling here for Effort. Looks like he wants to go ahead and take his natural expansion here. And I really like this move by Effort to take his natural expansion. I think this is really, really intelligent because he's in this situation right now where his opponent already has the two hatcheries.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have that much of an advantage other than the fact that he's going to have his mutas out a bit quicker. So why not go ahead, keep your opponent back on the defensive back foot here and get your base up quicker, because it's going to be muta versus muta. So by having that additional gas, if he even can mine 100 additional gas,
that's one more muta.
That can be the difference right there.
All right, so we have the mutas on the way right now, and I totally agree with you, Artosis. I think this is a great play here. Also, if we see it, hold up. Oh my God, he's just going to jump on the Spire. Oh my God, this is really ballsy.
Yeah, this is super ballsy, and it looks like he is going to pop the Spire. Oh! With just 3
That was like a
Zerglings
split
left.
second. I mean, that's like a moment where you just look at it, and then a million calculations going on in your brain and go, yes, I can do this.
Yes, Effort's like, well, I've played this game all day, every day for half of my life, so yes, I can do this. That's a huge move that just happened right there. And we do have some mutas that have popped out, but some mutas don't beat a lot of mutas.
I love it, Artosis. This is, that was just such a brilliant play. We don't normally see that get pulled off.
Indeed, but there's a lot that can go wrong right now. We have a lot of Zerglings coming over here right now 4-0, but look at this. This is, Effort knows that this has to happen. He just sacrificed his Zerglings to kill tech, so now he must use his tech to kill Zerglings.
Now he's baited these mutas away with 3 lings over here, but in fact there's more lings coming up here, and they're going to be going right, I believe, to where the drones are. Yep, heading up here, and if he can get some kills, remember, Ling's quite strong in StarCraft 1, especially if Effort's not on top of this, he's got to control this perfectly. Now, no, here's the drone drill. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah, you can slide right through these Zerglings here, and that is what he's trying to do, keeping alive as many drones as he possibly can. This is very annoying. Even a few Zerglings can get in there and really ravage your mineral line quite quickly. So he's keeping those mutas back while he remakes his Spire. Well, he's going to go ahead and get a Spore as well.
Now, he has banked up a lot of gas in this process, so we're going to see a lot of those eggs morph in a second for more Mutalisks. The drone count, Effort's pretty sparse on drones here, and so it's going to be a balancing act of making drones while still having adequate air. I think that's why we're seeing Scourge here. He has to make some Scourge.
Really,
I really can't emphasize how technical it gets at this phase of the game.
Well, you have to be like, okay, what do you actually make here? Because he does have to make a few extra drones if he wants to mine additional gas from his natural and actually be able to put that into things like Scourge and mutas. He actually needs more drones. He needs a drone for the extractor. He needs a few more drones as well to mine from that extractor, and then a few more to mine minerals so that he has the minerals to go along with the gas that he's mining to actually make these additional units with those additional larvae. So I really love your analysis there. Obviously, that has to be why he has to make some Scourge here, because they're so cheap on the minerals, which is what he's really putting money in to get gas right now.
Now, there's a lot of people that will debate what is the hardest types of micro to do in Brood War, because there's so many different styles. This is definitely one
Terran
of them.
micro.
This is I knew you were gonna say this is definitely one of them. The muta versus muta with Scourge mixed in here. One misclick and you fall apart. If you engage in properly, and if a player's good enough, he can chase you all the way back while moving, shooting and moving at the same time, and can kill you. It was not intended for the mutas to be able to shoot and move, but with proper control, you can do it. And so it gets really complicated. There's also ways where you engage with some of the air army to bait them out and then blindside them with Scourge as it's going on. Remember that you have to make your workers manually go back and mine, so there's lots of moments where you might not be watching. There's a lot of ways to fake them out.
Yep. And right now we do have a lot of mutas going around the map right now 4-0, but you know what? Zero taking his expansion, this is very late compared to Effort, so Effort's getting a big increase on his gas right now.
By the way, did you see Effort actually, or Zero actually checked the bottom of the map for Overlords? I mean, his main was pretty much exposed, but he kind of a risky move, but he did it. You can see him poking in here. Now he's trying to initiate to make sure that Effort stays back. Effort now releasing some lings to the opening here.
Those are lead lings. These are actually kind of spotting where everything is. You see, it's like, all right, here's a Zergling here. Here's where the mutas are right now. That's some valuable intel right now, because Effort, he has that additional gas income, and he has enough larvae to actually spend every bit of gas that he gets right now. So if he can just kind of keep track of where those mutas are for the time being, that's a very powerful place to be in for him.
He may try to engage right as his hatchery finishes. Basically, Zero's on his back foot until he gets that second gas up. That's because, obviously gas is what mutas and Scourge require in order to be produced.
No, I think he is gonna have to move pretty soon, as you say. I think. I wouldn't be surprised if Zero throws up a Spore at his natural here very quickly.
I think he's got the drones right in position. Here we go. He's got to hurry. He's got to hurry. Effort is very close to jumping on top of this. I did not expect.
Picking off an Overlord here with a couple Scourge. I think that was intentional.
I think that was intentional, because that might just supply block him for a minute.
Yeah. I mean, that can be a very powerful move. If that's going to prevent like 2-3 mutas from popping out of these new larvae that just happened.
God, this game is it's getting deeper and deeper, man.
Yeah. There's some nice harassment there down at the bottom. Now, don't forget, if those mutas were in a different position for Zero, he might have been able to trap the mutas of Effort, but Effort has a good idea of where the mutas have to be right now for Zero to prevent damage to his new natural expansion. So that was a really nice swoop in.
Effort looks like he's going to be regrouping here. He may be trying to hit this base momentarily.
Oh, +1 flyer carapace against no flyer carapace. This is a huge deal right now for Effort.
This is a timing attack. The mutas with the armor about to engage here.
It operates just like StarCraft 1. That extra blade gets a raise.
Oh my God!
Oh, man.
But these are going to be really good hits, actually. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to cut it, though. I mean, these mutas are just stronger.
Yeah, the mutas are just so much stronger with that +1 carapace, and he is going ham right now on the mutas of 0-0 with some good micro. Goes around the backside where the mutalisks are not quite as thick and actually picks a couple off. That was actually really nice by Zero.
Control there by Zero. Now, he's trying to get as many more mutalisks out to re-engage this. Remember, the travel distance here for Effort. Effort needs to get this hatchery. He has to get this hatchery. Oop. Canceling that. Probably needed to make another muta with the sparse amount of money that he had there. Now, we don't know, because this is an old game, we don't get to see what they're upgrading. We don't know if Zero is, in fact, close to getting armor here. But
yeah, not so sure about that, but right now we still do, of course, have this +1 armor on these mutas. It's a big deal. Picking off some more drones here, picking off those mutas. He'll take a muta versus muta fight any day. He's got to watch for the Scourge. A couple do connect there and take out an additional muta. Here comes another one, but looks like does Effort just have too much here with more Scourge coming in?
He's trying to buy time till the Spore Crawler can finish, so he's zoning him with those Scourge.
Oh.
Nicely done, and this might be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah, it looks like this is just about it. Effort clearing out all the mutas.
GG.
And that is
That's it. We got our finals.
That's right.
Bisu versus
Bisu. Are
Effort.
you kidding me?
It's a beautiful day.
It's
a beautiful day.
The best active Zerg from the Prime of Brood War against the best active Protoss from the Prime of Brood War?
It's great because it's 2016, but it's two old school names.
Literally the only better PvZ you could have gotten in the Prime of Brood War would have been Bisu against Jaedong. And this is like Jaedong Jr. here, Effort. So this is like, guys, today you might be liking it, but today was crap compared to what Saturday's going to be. It's going to be insane.
Saturday's going to be amazing. And of course, we're doing a lot more than just StarCraft 1. Still doing the GSL here for StarCraft 2. Doing everything StarCraft, everything.
That's right.
Great day today. I got to say, Effort just a much better Zerg versus Zerg player than Zero. I think Zero maybe should have backed off from trying to do two base. Effort made it look easy. He knows how to get in there with the Lings. I'm really interested in how they do the balancing of the Scourge and the mutas. I'm wondering if it's simply a timing thing where he spends whatever extra gas he's got on the Scourge, whatever extra minerals he's got. But yeah, when he got that armor, he just came in there and beat down Zero. There was not much he could do.
You know, I want to also say something. It's beautiful to see Effort doing so well. He came to StarCraft 2. He actually got to a really high level, but he had some disagreements with his coach on CJ, unfortunately. Ended up retiring because of those disagreements, didn't want to participate anymore. And the fact that he's already back in a finals in StarCraft 1 really speaks loads about his skill. And I'm really happy for him because he had a rough time of things in StarCraft 2 despite his skill was good. He had some insane games against Maru and whatnot, but I'm just so touched and pleased to see him doing well here.
Come to our finals on Saturday. It's going to be in the studio. You're welcome to come down.
I don't know the exact time. We'll tweet that out, though.
Yeah, I don't know yet. We have so many different things we're casting right now at once.
Crazy.
Also, guys, if you want to see more of this, let Africa know. I love Brood War. I love StarCraft 2, but I'm really excited to share this game with you guys. I know many people have been curious about StarCraft 1. There's not as much information as you would think about how to learn it or pick it up. You could always play it on iCup or Fish or on Battle.net, but I want to keep all esports alive.
All the good ones.
All the good ones, you know.
Sorry, Shootmania.
But I want to keep all these things alive. I think it's a part of history, and there's no point in having a game that's brilliant that people played for a decade fade away.
Yeah.
Even though it's in this obscure corner of the world in Korea, it's still very much played and very common. There's no reason why you guys can't enjoy that as well. That's why we're here today.
Indeed. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Please, seriously, if you did enjoy and you want to see more, let Afreeca know.
Demand.
At AfreecaTV _GL on Twitter. You can let them know.
That's right.
If you liked it. And, go ahead, do your upvotes and whatever. And spread the word, especially about this finals, because I swear to God, the finals is going to be so
It's going to be really good. It was kind of – I didn't realize until they finally agreed to let us do it, and this was the first day we could come in, that it was going to be a ZVZ. I'm like, oh. But then after watching it, I'm like, oh, no, this matchup's actually great too. Yeah. But the PvZ on the finals, that's something you do not want to miss out on.
Indeed. Yeah, that's – I don't know what else to really say right now. I'm just, super pumped about this finals coming up.
Yeah, man, it's been about a little bit over 5 or 6 years since we casted Brood War, so it's good to be back
Yeah.
here with you, old school. Join us for the GSL. That'll be on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Korean Standard Time.
Yes, the normal time as
the
always.
normal
Code
time.
A, it's going to be awesome as well. So we got both those Code A's this week.
And then the finals on
Yeah.
Saturday for Brood War. And hopefully many more if you guys spread the word. Thank you so much for joining us. Artosis, good job
well,
coming
Tasis.
down here. And, it was fun to cast that
It's been
again.
a while, but it
It's
was
been a while.
so much fun, man.
Yeah, I
it was
enjoyed it.
what a blast from the past, guys. We've loved. I mean, this game has been the focus point of our lives for a very long time
Yeah.
before StarCraft 2. So it really touched my heart to be able to cast it once
Yeah,
again.
it felt pretty good, I got to say. That's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you for joining us here. We hope you enjoyed it. We love you. Good night.